need to know about sword scabbards. Hi, it's Todd at Tods Workshop and Todd Cutler here, and today we're going to be talking about sword scabbards. Very particular reason for that, and that is that I've started selling them through Kult of Athena in the United States. If you don't know Kult of Athena, go check them out. They sell all sorts of stuff from all sorts of makers. They will be selling Tods Workshop scabbards. They also have been selling for years some Todd Cutler pieces like these here. So all sorts of daggers and now sword scabbards from Todd Cutler, Tods Workshop. This film is a little bit about how to wear sword scabbards, but mostly it's really about these sort of scabbards that I make, because you're investing, a reasonable amount of money in that, and you want to know what you're getting into. So I'm going to explain that, just how to look after them, what to do with them and adjust them really, how to make them fit. If you are interested in, watching another film which has all sorts of sword scabbards in it, and how to wear them, I've got a great film starring Hob with the crazy hat. Go check that out. There's a link in the notes. First up, I'll show you a simple tied system because you all need to know about it really. But you have a short strap with 2 holes in it and a long strap with 2 tails. That goes around you. It's very adjustable, this system. It means that you can wear it with armour, without armour, over padding, no padding. You can eat a load of burgers. You can stop eating burgers. It will still fit you. Top strap through the top hole. Bottom strap through the bottom hole. That comes down, bit gunslinger. And then the top strap you just turn into a loop like this, and then you take the bottom one and you wrap it around and then pull it back through. So I'll just show you there. And then you pull that tight. Then you pull that tight. And the whole system now is very, very secure, very locked together. To remove it, pull the strap, pull it apart, and it's off. So dead simple. Next up, I'll show you how to put the longsword set on. So we're going to put the sword and scabbard down now because that makes it a bit easier. First up is the belt, and there is what's called the slider. So that's what hooks the back of the scabbard on. Goes over the small of your back pretty much, and then that goes on just as a normal belt would go on. I'm not going to punch a hole in it yet. I'm just going to hold it there, and this is actually quite good if you've got an assistant for this bit. And then I have the hook on the scabbard here, and that goes through the loop on the slider. If you're not used to this, it can all be a bit of a handful. But that goes through the loop on the slider, and now, of course, your scabbard is hanging at a ridiculous and horrible angle. You pull that up. You have one more buckle here, and it is, in fact, the tail of your main belt that goes through. Now, what that means is that you need to punch holes for wearing it as a belt, but you also need to punch holes to connect to the top of the scabbard. But now, if you look, my scabbard hangs at a decent angle, and actually if I sway my hips, very nice I know, it's nice and secure. That is exactly what you want. Now I can change the adjustment on this by moving the slider around. I can change the length of that strap there. I can do it up tighter, less. I can even change the knots on my scabbard here. So that will all change the way it hangs, the way it moves, the angles and so on. I can't set that for you. Kult of Athena can't set that for you. Your butt might be bigger than my butt. Your waist is different to my waist. All of these things change everything. It's down to you. But what I can do is give you the tools to make it fit properly. So the first thing you need to do, pop down Lowe's or somewhere similar, buy a hole punch, $6, $7. Get those holes punched where you think they need to be. But don't rush it, okay? Don't rush it. Make sure that you're happy with the fit just by holding it, bending it like I'm doing here. I now can try it in different ways. See what works. See what it looks like in the mirror. See how comfortable it is to walk. Do all those things. Then you will need to punch holes for your main buckle and holes for the secondary buckle here. So that's going to get everything set up, and now it's going to be secure. Still might not like the angle of it. I'll show you how to tie the knot so that you can change the way the angle hangs. I'll start by just showing you how I tie and adjust this scabbard knot here. It's easily done if you know how. But we'll flip it over and you can see there's a tail. Once everything is where you want it to be, cut that tail off because otherwise it's a bit unsightly. But basically, if you need to adjust it, start by unthreading it and take it out. Now I'm going to show you how to tie it from scratch on another scabbard, because then that way you're not going to get caught out by having a bundle of strap and not knowing what to do with it. So we'll put this down and we'll pick up another. I'll show you how to tie the knot now with somebody's production scabbard and a Todd Cutler longsword belt set. starting with the split strap. I suggest if you're adjusting a scabbard, not fitting it up from scratch, leave this first knot in place. But that comes around like so, and you can see from the back there. Then back up the front and around the strap again and back down. So it's now like that, and the back should look like that. Back around the top again, and then you've got to get it under that middle strap. I use these fantastic medical forceps. Round like that, flip it over, and then this goes underneath both of those. And there we are. Now, of course, it's missing its buckle. So if you're doing this from scratch, which you won't be if you're adjusting, you now have to cut that off to length and rivet your buckle on. That's another story. But that's your first one. Pull it up to the throat. Now we're now going to fit our next one, and it is done in exactly the same way. Leave this bottom one a little bit longer, but you can adjust it because, you know, people are different. And again, wrap it around the back, over the top, exactly the same way. You want to keep this tight as you're going. You want to pull it tight. Back around the back, and we're going to flip it under the central strap again. And there we are. So as you can see here, that's a bit longer than the ones you'll get from KOA, but it's the same. If I want to adjust that, let's say I want to make it a little bit longer, the easiest way is that you just push it through. And you'll find that 15 millimeters, 5/8 of an inch will make quite a difference to how the sword hangs. So you push a little through and you just pull it all the way around, just keeping the tension up as you go. And you'll find it really very easy. And this way you can't get it wrong because everything remains in place. If you want to take it off and do it again from scratch, you go for it, you know? It's great to learn these skills. And then just feed it through until it comes tight. And you're now going to have that extra 15mm, 5/8 of an inch you didn't have before. That way you can adjust it completely how you want it to be. If I was tying that knot a bit too fast, I'll do it really slowly right at the end of the film, so after everything else is finished, I'll just run through tying that knot again. Well, let's talk about the scabbard itself. What are you going to get? Well, the first thing you need to know is that it's made of poplar. It's quite a soft wood. It's definitely not heavy, but it's tough and it's stringy, so it's traditionally a really good scabbard wood. Poplar and birch seem to be the two that were most favoured. Now, the way I make them is I try to make them as thin as I can. Medieval scabbards were definitely not clunky. And so I don't line them. I don't line them with wool, I don't line them with fur. They didn't either, almost ever in the medieval period. Earlier, yes. Medieval, they didn't. Now what that means is that you end up with, you know, a thin, attractive scabbard. It's a nice object. But what it also means is it can bend. Now, I'm just going to show you this one. Now here's a scabbard which has got a slight warp in it. I don't know if you can see it. It's probably about a centimetre, 3/8 of an inch curve on it like that. It's been leaning against a wall. If I put that flat on the table, by tomorrow morning, it'll be dead flat again. It's just not an issue. A little bit of sabering like that, it can even happen. The wood moves. Put a sword in it, it comes straight. And if your sword scabbard does swell up or get wet because it's very moist or you've been out on campaign, you've got to free it up. Well, you take a rubber mallet, you put it on the side of your leg there, put a towel on your leg or something to protect you in case you go crazy, and you just tap up the length of the scabbard. You can actually hit quite hard, and it will free everything up. If you tap a point and it rattles, you know it's loose there. Don't hit there anymore. If you hit a point and it doesn't rattle and you get a dull thud, that means it's tight at that point and you will have to work it a bit harder there. But in that way you can loosen up your sword in the scabbard and everything will be great. But I think that's probably everything you need to know about sword scabbards today. So thank you very much. I hope it's worth listening. Cheers. take your sword scabbard from whichever manufacturer and your Todd Cutler sword belt and put the strap just over the front. Pin it down with your finger. The strap that's now tailing down here, pull up behind and move it onto the side of the strap between the scabbard throat and the strap itself. Again, holding everything pinned down and sort of thumb and forefinger, push it over the top and then you grasp the strap underneath. So now, from the top, it's like this position, and from the back, it's like this. You bring it back up the front. And it's good to keep a bit of tension on, but you can actually add the tension back in later if you need to, if you're a bit sloppy on it. And it does take practice. Do it 2 or 3 times. Doesn't matter. You won't break anything. Wrap it around the back, like that, and then back down around the front. And the back should now look like this. I find it helps to tuck the scabbard under my arm. It just keeps everything in place. Now that's dangling down. It has to come back up the back of the scabbard. Now it comes around the front and it weaves through the straps in the alternate way. So it goes over the first one and under the middle strap. And I like these medical forceps. They're really handy for this sort of thing. Give a little bit of slack on that central strap. Bring that under. And now, rather than pulling like that, you'll end up with a big ugly knot here. Pull it down at an angle that way. And then, keeping lots of tension on the system, now pull it around. And it gets rid of this lump almost completely, not completely. Brings it around there. And then, don't go under this first one. Go under the second one. Now the whole knot is in position, but it's still a little bit wobbly. So you can now pull it tight just by pulling those 2 straps there. Now this, of course, now can still move up and down your scabbard. So that's no good at all. What you can do is put a little slit here and here and put a wooden peg or something through. That will stop it sliding up. It's a bit more complicated, but you could put 2 slits in the back here, lift the leather off and then thread this through. But it's a bit harder to do. And that will be the end of our scabbard tutorial. Thank you.